Gem Hill High School student Jahliyah Readus has been awarded nearly $2 million in scholarship money.
So far from 22 schools, I have $1.7 million in scholarships right now.
She has been accepted to schools all over the country, but she says her top 5 landing spots are all HBCUs.
Jackson State, Alcorn, Tougaloo, Xavier, and Fisk.
Readus is currently enrolled in the JPS Tougaloo Early College High School. She attends classes every day at Tougaloo College. She says that experience is one of the reasons she is choosing a historically black college or university.
For the past 4 years, being at an HBCU in high school has kind of showed me like this is the type of environment that I need to be in. This is what I feel will help me to grow and succeed later on in life.
Having students attend high school on a college campus does a tremendous job for building their confidence and their stamina about completing college assignments.
Readus will graduate high school with her associate's degree. She says the hundreds of hours of community service she has, along with being a good student, was key in getting all of that scholarship money.
Being involved in your school and your community and having like good letters of recommendations from your teachers will make you a more standout applicant.
You cannot wait until you become a senior and think that you're going to be able to achieve over $1 million in scholarship offers. You have to start building that foundation even in elementary school.
Readus says that there are still a few schools she hasn't heard from yet. She expects more acceptance letters and scholarship money to come.
At first, it can seem overwhelming when you get so much mail, but then you have to look at it on the bright side. All the hard work that you've been putting in for the past 4 years are really paying off.
Marcus Hunter, 16 WAPT News.
Your door to get you into university, and did you have millions of dollars in scholarship money waiting on you?
Why are you embarrassing me?
Because I need to be embarrassed with you, because our guest who's joining us here on the Metro, man, she's knocking it out of the park for all the right reasons. We have Jahliyah Readus. You may have seen the headlines around her. She is the Gem Hill, high school student. She's also in the Tougaloo Early College High School program. And when the news broke, Jahliyah, it all said nearly $2 million in scholarship money. But you just told me it's rose to.
I'm at $2.3 million now.
That's pretty impressive.
I'm not impressed.
Oh, yes, he is. Absolutely, yes, he is. And more than 20 colleges are after you to choose them for your higher education. Okay. Is this all overwhelming, exciting, all of the above, Jahliyah?
It's really exciting, being that when I came into my 12th grade year, I wasn't expecting to reach $1 million. My advisor at Gem Hill, he told me and my grandpa when I was in 11th grade, he was like, we're going to make her $1 million baby. And we were like, what does that mean? He was like, you can get over $1 million in scholarships. And at first my grandpa was like, that's kind of crazy, but I actually did it. And I actually went over the initial goal of $1 million, and to double that, it's really exciting, and it's inspirational to me and for my younger siblings and other kids in the community to see that, like, if I'm able to achieve these things, that you can too.
And it all started with your love of learning back in kindergarten. I mean, it's not that you just came into your senior year and had a good advisor and then got the $1 million, right? You have been laying, Jahliyah, the seeds or in the foundation for this opportunity from a very young age with a love of education. So let's go back to kindergarten, which for you wasn't that long ago as it was for me and Perez. But, I mean, was it just natural? Did you just always enjoy school?
Well, I can say that it's like been since preschool, really. Like my grandma, she'll tell me stories about how I learned to read really fast when I was younger. I knew I could read by at least the age of 3, and learning has always just been something that I've loved to do. Like, I love to read. If it's something that I don't know, I'll instantly go research it. So I guess school kind of came naturally for me, but it still takes hard work and dedication, because even if things do come naturally, in order to achieve the goals that you have, you still have to put hard work and effort behind it to overachieve.
Sometimes you hear about students, Jahliyah, who kind of gravitate towards or find school a little, I won't say easier, or maybe they're just not as challenged. Sometimes they get a little bored with school. There at Jim Hill, did you have faculty and staff and teachers who recognized maybe your potential for a little more and kind of pushed you to keep you from getting bored?
Well, the school that I attend every day is the JPS Tougaloo Early College High School, and it's on the campus of Tougaloo College. And the structural component of the school is that the first 2 years you do your major high school classes, and the last 2 you do your major college courses to get your associate's degree. And I can say that this school has really pushed me and challenged me and has allowed me to be able to critical think about things that I normally wouldn't have. So being in this program and being young, I feel like I have such a great advantage when I graduate and go out into the career field that I want to do, because I'm able to problem solve and critical think. And that's the kind of things that you need when you want to go out into the career field, because it makes you more of like, I guess like what I'm trying to say is, like when companies reach out for you, they're like, well, she did all of this in high school. She knows what we're looking for. Like, she's a good candidate.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And being able to critical think. My daddy used to always say, tell me your solution, don't tell me your problem. And I carried that into, yes, we had the same father, Perez. And I carried that into with my kids too, because it makes them just, stop and think about how to figure it out versus just complaining about it. And that's life scenarios, not necessarily school scenarios, but it's definitely the same thing that employers are going to want, someone who can come up with good solutions or, be innovative and move and think forward versus, being stuck where you're at. Well, you weren't stuck at Jim Hill then. So I guess ninth grade, is that when you entered the Tougaloo Early College High School program? Yes, was there like a selection process to that? Did your teachers put you up for that, or how did you find your way in there?
Well, I'm actually a part of the founding class of the program. So JPS created the program after my 8th grade year, and they sent it out to all of their incoming high school students, and you had to apply online. Then there was a selection process where you had to go to an interview, and all the people that they selected from the interview, it was the students that were in the first cohort were chosen at random. So if you got in, you just
got lucky.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think it was God's placement, if you ask me, Jahliyah, because you deserve to be there. And what a poster child you are now for the program. Again, that's Tougaloo Early College High School, which, because of the way the dates fall, you will actually graduate college first or with an associate's May 1st before you graduate high school. When is your high school graduation?
I think it's like June 1st.
June 1st. So for 4 weeks, you will hold a diploma in college before you get your high school diploma, which I think is just extraordinary. Okay, when you got the opportunity, though, you got your 2 years over with of your high school, then you moved into kind of your college courses. Did they direct you, or did you get to choose what you were interested in terms of what you would take?
So we had like a set of majors that we could choose from. Like right now we have biology, education, business, physics, like engineering. So it's really up to the student whatever path that they choose to take. And the faculty that we have at our school, they're really hands-on. So if a student needed guidance with anything, or if they really didn't know what they wanted to do yet, it's fine. Because even after you initially choose the major, you can go back and say, well, hey, I don't think this is for me. Can I go to this one? And they'll say, of course. So I really like how it's set up. I've always known that I wanted to do biology. When my mom used to take me to the pediatrician when I was younger, I would always say, oh, well, what's this? Or like, what's the thing that you have around your neck? Or what do you do when like other kids come in? So I always knew that was something that I wanted to do.
Was to be a pediatrician, and you knew it had. So when you took your first biology classes, because it's one thing to know that, or you're interested in something. So when I went into Southern Miss, I was interested in like marketing, and I wanted to be a buyer for Saks Fifth Avenue. And then I took my first business law class at Jahliyah, and I was like, this is terrible. Get me out of here. Which is, sometimes students find themselves, and that's the beauty of the process of sort of figuring it out. So when you took your first biology class, did it click for you? Were you just like, yes, I'm still on the right path?
Like I said earlier, I've always loved science. So when I first took the biology class, I was like, oh, it's really interesting. I was drawn in. I was like, this is kind of clicking for me. Like, this is something that I know, like, I want to continue to build and learn on.
Which I think is super cool, and now you're just fast-tracking your way in the direction to being a pediatrician. Dr. Jahliyah Readus is what we'll be seeing in a few years. And, okay, but it's not just good grades that get you great scholarships. It's also, which I feel like parents should know, that even if your kid is not the brightest in terms of class, volunteering, participating in extracurricular activities, all that layers into applications for scholarships. And you also excel in that area. So where did you find time? And when you found the time, Jahliyah, where did you volunteer, or where did you participate in extracurriculars?
Well, I don't do athletics because I have like a health reason why I can't. So I dedicated my time to community service and being involved in school activities. So I tried to be in like the SGA every year, or other clubs that my school has, or clubs that's outside of school. And I try to do community service as well, because when you're applying to colleges, they look for real well-rounded students, because yes, you could have good grades, but like, what are you doing to give back? And so that's always something that my grandparents and my mom have instilled in me as well, is to always give back to the community. So community service wise, I've worked with the mayor of Jackson. I've done things from our hometown, which is Canton. I've worked with Stew Pot, or I've done things with my school does community service activities as well. I remember when I was in 9th grade, we actually had made gift bags and donations that we took to a women's shelter here in Jackson, and then we took the leftover things we had and we went to a local park and gave things to the homeless citizens in the park. So community service is really good, because it's always a good feeling to know that you can help other people who may not have something that you have.
Which is also going to play right into you being a 5-star pediatrician, because that is exactly what that's going to require too, is seeing past just it and looking at it as in terms of a whole, and understanding that the community buys into the kids as well. You also ran for student body of some kind, I think. Were you president of something?
Well, this current school year, I'm the senior class president, and I am the National Honor Society president.
I'm exhausted just reading your resume, but I can see that this is definitely something you're passionate about. And the question everybody is waiting on, Jahliyah, is which of the 20 colleges are you going to choose? I would love some breaking news here on the Metro if you have it for us. If not, that's completely understandable.
Well, right now I'm still weighing my options, because I do still have offers that are coming in, and some that won't come in until like March maybe. So for right now, I'm just seeing which school I know will best suit me and the career I want to take on the pre-med track. So I'm just weighing my options.
That is spoken like a true someone who's got a lot of options coming in. I do know that you are leaning towards maybe historically black colleges, which I think is pretty impressive there. Okay, so that's the first step. Do you have like a dream medical school? I know that's like you're not giving us away anything now, but we're looking like past that. Where does Jahliyah want to go in terms of dream medical school?
Well, like you said, with me being interested in historically black colleges and universities, with me attending one right now, since Tougaloo is a HBCU, I have been looking at HBCU medical schools, and I know like Howard or Morehouse, they have medical schools that I've been looking into as well.
So when you get that degree and you become a world famous pediatrician, are you going to call Mississippi home? Because you can't leave us. I'm putting it out there. You got to bring your smarts and your talents back. And you have your wonderful grandfather and mother here with us on the Metro, and I know they're going to want to keep you as close as possible. But we wish you nothing but the best, Jahliyah. You are an inspiration to everyone who meets you, hears about your story, and also, if you have one thing to say to the young folks out there, what would it be?
Never give up. Not everything is going to go the way that you expect it to. So whatever happens, you take that and you use it as motivation to keep going and keep trying to reach your dreams.
All righty. Well, there you go. Well, we will be following your story. We will have you back.
Time right now is 10 after 6. You know, it's a challenging time to be a high school student, but the pandemic has not stopped a 16-year-old Jackson girl from excelling at the highest level. First spoke with Jahliyah Readus about 5 years ago when she won about 20 awards on class day. Well, here's what she's doing now.
The awards haven't stopped piling up for Jahliyah Readus. Jim Hill's her home school, but she's part of the Michelle Obama Early College Program. She's already taken classes at the University of Mississippi and Tougaloo. By the time she finishes up high school, she'll have 2 years of college under her belt.
I chose the biology associate's degree. Well, when I grow up, I want to be a pediatrician.
Several prestigious universities already have Jahliyah on their radar.
Just kind of waiting to see what happens, but I was always focused on the Ivy League school, though, because I know I can get there.
The Ivy's like extracurriculars, and Jahliyah has plenty of those.
Well, talents, as you mentioned before, singing. You should hear her sing.
If you look inside your heart.
That's the kind of talent that won Jahliyah the Mid-South Beauty and Bold pageant a couple of years ago. Last year, she was named Miss Congeniality.
She's a pretty nice girl. She has a lot of empathy and she cares about others. Jahliyah has been, like I would say, an inspiration to my daughter. She was had been in the program a whole year before my daughter had been in it.
A simple philosophy serves Jahliyah well.
Everything has a challenge, but what I go by is that you have to work hard now and in the future it's going to pay off.
Long term, Jahliyah has her sights set on Johns Hopkins Medical School. Then after that,
a lot of people try to leave the state, but I think it's better to stay and help build where we are.
Please don't leave.
Yes, sir.
that should help us all rest a little easier.
She is such a super girl. Jahliyah plans to take all her classes at Tougaloo this fall. Look for her in a Healthcare Heroes segment in about 10 years, if not sooner than that.